Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Here's my July 2017 sketchbook. This piece is called Sun Goddess, and I used a Pentel brush pen for the inks and also Neocolor2 watercolor crayons, but this time I'm using regular watercolor brushes. This one is called Chain Rogue. The original reference photo was just a model lying on the stairs, but I added the sci-fi / fantasy elements to the piece. Again, it's in Neocolor watercolor crayons with a limited color palette. You can see here that I use a white gel pen to add the highlights. This one here is called Blood Bar, and I used a red color scheme for the painting. If you didn't notice, you can see the bartender has pale skin, so this is supposed to be a vampire blood bar. Here's a painting of a French bakery with using only a 2-color scheme. Starting with this piece, I began using a Kuretake water-soluble ink brush pen. So you can see that in the background, or actually the details of the ink is actually with watercolor wash. And then on top of that, I applied the paint. This piece I call Headshot. And at the end, you can see I applied the splatter effect. Again, this one uses the inkwash, and I call this one Shark Girl. Lighting on this was kind of weird. It kept on flashing out white for some reason. By the way, the model on this actually applied all the makeup to her face with the teeth and the eye makeup and the colored wig. So I didn't actually do much of altering of the photo, except for I used different color than what she actually used. This one is entitled Half Moon Bay Lunch. The drawing itself was done live, and then I painted it afterwards. This is One Woman Head Turns. It's basically a study of Jim Lee's sketches. And you can see that I switched to Prismacolor pencils instead of watercolor. title of this is called Mirror, and again with the Prismacolor Premier pencils and a Kuretake ink wash. This part wasn't filmed, but at the beginning when I did the ink drawing I kind of messed up on the face, so when I used the Prismacolor pencils I actually just colored the face white to block out all the bad ink marks and just redrew it with the pencils. This is called Shotgun Snack, and starting from this painting you can see that I actually filmed the ink wash, so you can see I actually just drew it with the Kuretake brush pen and then used the water brush afterwards to make the wash, and then on top of that, once it dried, I used the Prismacolor pencils. Here's a drawing of my two dogs entitled Doggy Joyride. The dog on the left is named Lupin, and the dog on the right is still a puppy. He's named Gus Gus. Again, you can see the Kuretake brush pen ink wash. This drawing is named Tracks. The initial drawing, I did it fairly quickly with gestural style line work, and I was really happy with that. You didn't see it recorded here, but normally it takes me a while to do to actually lay out the pencils and ink work, and I was happy that I was able to do it a lot more quickly. Normally the drawings take the drawing itself probably takes like 10-15 minutes, but this one, the drawing only took me like 5 minutes. This is called Buddha hands. The original image on this already had the hands laid out, the composition of the hands laid out around the figure. The only thing I changed was adding color to it. I believe the original photo was only black and white, so I added the purple color for the figures and the hands, and yellow for the background. This is titled Grape Harvest. If you've been noticing a pattern on the way I color things, I normally just use 3 colors, sometimes 4, sometimes 2, but normally around that range. And I don't even use the colors of the photo reference. I'll just kind of use whatever I think the mood of the piece requires, or sometimes I just like a certain color I just want to use. This drawing is called Drink Break. I didn't even do colors on this one. I just used the ink wash. I believe the photo was actually in color, and I just made it black and white. This drawing is named Looking Good. Again, this is just strictly ink wash. No color on this one. I call this one Smokin' Joe. You can see here I returned back to watercolor and 3 color scheme: purple, yellow, and orange. Oh, and in addition, I switched my ink, or actually my other ink ran out, so I replaced it with a platinum carbon ink, which is non-water soluble, so you can do watercolor on top of it without the ink washing out. By the way, one of my inspirations for coloring is John Higgins. He did the colors for the Watchmen graphic novel, and I love the use of his purples and yellow complementary colors. And you can see a lot of my paintings have a similar color scheme. This drawing is named Pineapple. Here you can see is back to the ink wash using the other ink. I think I actually have 2 different, I don't remember because this was actually done a couple of months ago, but I think I actually have 2 different pens with different inks, so that's why I was able to switch back and forth between the water soluble and the non-water soluble inks. And on the coloring for this one is a different Prismacolor. This is called Prismacolor very thin pencils, which is more of a hard line and is not as useful for blending as compared to the Prismacolor Premier, but it's, you know, if you want these hard edges on there, this is better for that. This is Half Moon Bay Street Band, again with the Prismacolor very thin pencils. I forgot to mention previously, one of the advantages of using this type of pencils is that you're able to do like detailed line work. You know, on my drawings here, it's not really necessary, but if you're doing like strictly just pencil work and you wanted to do details, the Prismacolor very thin is better for that. This drawing is titled Passionate Dancer. Again, it's back to the ink wash. Trying to get more refined with the shading of the ink wash, and also colored with a Prismacolor Premier pencils. Now this one is named Dynamic Dancer, again with the ink wash. Trying to make sure I capture the details of the lines and not make it too muddy. Now you can see with the Prismacolor very fine pencils, and I didn't do shading with the colors on there. You can see it was actually just more of like cross-hatching line contour lines across the whole body, and you can see the cross-hatching on the background. This is called Bunny Ears. I skipped filming the ink wash on this, but again with the Prismacolor pencils, and it's not the same, not the actual colors of the reference photo, more of primary colors, yellows and blues, and red, you know, which is actually pink. This last piece is called Handstand Guy. Now I got a new watercolor set. It's called White Nights. It's a Russian brand. Normal watercolor is not watercolor crayons, and I love the colors. They're really vibrant, and they're artist quality watercolors. So like I said, it's really cheap compared to the other watercolors, and it's artist quality. So you're gonna see the vibrant colors, and they won't get muddy as much when you're mixing the different colors. If you guys have any comments or critiques for me, let me know in the comments. And make sure to like and subscribe, you know, it helps me out. See you next time. Bye.